James didn't finish his steak right away. Instead, he sat quietly, the slip of paper resting just inches from his plate, as though it were more important than the meal itself. His fork remained untouched, while his mind traveled far beyond the walls of the steakhouse. Memories surged through him like a tide he couldn't hold back. He saw the faces of men who had once been boys, laughing under the stars during patrols, their voices carrying in the humid jungle air. He remembered the crumpled letters from home, smudged with ink and sometimes with tears, letters that had given them strength to endure another day. And then there was the silence, the deafening silence that followed battles, the emptiness that came with knowing some of those faces would never laugh again. For years, those memories brought only sorrow, a weight that sat heavy on James's shoulders every single day. But tonight felt different. Tonight, that little handwritten note turned grief into something else. Pride. Not the pride of medals or ceremonies, but the quiet kind, the kind that reminded him his sacrifices mattered, that his brother's sacrifices were not forgotten. When the waitress returned holding the check, James braced himself. But instead of setting it down, she gave him a smile that carried both respect and warmth. "There's no balance due," she said softly. James blinked in surprise. "What do you mean?" "Someone already covered your meal," she replied. Her tone left no room for argument, only gratitude. "Who would do that?" James asked, shaking his head slowly. The young woman simply placed her hand over his and whispered, "Let's just say it's from someone who's grateful." James swallowed hard, feeling a lump rise in his throat. For so long, he had carried his past alone. He had tucked away the pain, hidden the memories, and carried the weight of survival. Yet tonight, through the kindness of a stranger and the sincerity of a handwritten note, that burden felt just a little lighter. As he stepped out into the cool night air, James paused on the sidewalk. He tilted his head upward, the stars shimmering against the dark sky, and whispered a prayer for his fallen brothers. In his hand, he clutched the note, not as paper, but as a treasure, a reminder more precious than any medal. That night, James didn't just eat a steak. He was reminded that gratitude lives on, even decades after the war has ended. And sometimes, all it takes is a few handwritten words to stop a soldier cold.